If you want to know which vegetables strengthen your bones, you've come to the right video because here's what you can expect to cover. First, we'll talk about the common foods that are often recommended for bone strengthening. Then, you'll learn about whether vegetables and fruits help with bone strengthening. After that, you learn which two nutrients are the most important ones to improve your bone density and, most importantly, decrease fracture risk. Lastly, we'll cover how much protein you need based on your age, your activity levels, and your weight. Before we jump in, who am I? My name is Igor. I am the author of the Amazon best-selling book called Osteoporosis Reversal Secrets. As well, I run an online personal training company that specializes in helping people reverse their osteopenia and osteoporosis. As well, I've been presenting at personal training conferences since 2013, teaching them my methodology and my approach to osteoporosis, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and more. And I've done many presentations, over 400 to some of Canada's largest corporations, including IBM, American Express, University of Toronto, Investors Group, and others. If you want to learn when I publish more videos like this one about bone strengthening, nutrition, and exercise, click like and subscribe to my channel. So let's start with common foods that are claimed to strengthen bones. Some of the foods very commonly claimed to strengthen bones are things like collard greens, spinach, okra, cabbage, broccoli, and other vegetables. And so why do they say it's good for the bones? Well, the claim is that these foods are high in calcium, but that's actually not true. And I discuss this in great detail in my book about which foods are actually high in calcium, breaking it down by serving size based on how much people actually eat, bioavailability, and more. So check out this video both in the description below and on your screen right now. Now, furthermore, even if these vegetables were high in calcium, it doesn't matter anyways, because calcium doesn't make much of a difference when it comes to fracture risk, which is very surprising to a lot of people. Here is one very large meta-analysis titled Dietary Calcium and Vitamin D Intake in Relation to Osteoporotic Fracture Risk. In this meta-analysis, over 60,000 people were studied, and researchers concluded that dietary calcium or vitamin D intakes estimated at middle and older age do not seem to be of major importance for the primary prevention of osteoporotic fractures in women. What does that mean? Regardless of whether these people were consuming a little bit of calcium or a lot of calcium, it didn't affect their fracture risk whatsoever. Why is that? Well, I elaborate on that very, very thoroughly in this 16.5-minute video on calcium for osteoporosis. Again, both in the description below and on your screen right now. Another food often claimed to increase bone strength is bone broth. And why do they say it's good for your bones? Well, their claim is that it's rich in vitamins, minerals, and protein. I'd like to see which vitamins, minerals, and protein it's rich in, because it actually isn't. I simply looked it up on the Government of Canada Nutrition Database website and saw how much calcium and magnesium does it have. Well, the calcium content is 17 milligrams. Although calcium intake doesn't matter, even if it did, the recommendation is 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day. 17 out of 1,000 to 1,200 is basically nothing. Magnesium, people need between 300 and 500 milligrams per day, and this only has 29. I'm not sure why they say it's rich in these, because this is very easily verified and very easily disputed. So no, it's not rich in vitamins, minerals, or protein. It's not rich in a heck of a lot of anything. So why doesn't it help bones? Because, well, again, it doesn't have much of anything. It doesn't have protein, doesn't have any of the nutrients required for bone strength. Another food often claimed to improve bone strength and bone density is eggs. Why do they say that it's good for your bones? They claim that it's rich in protein. Again, I'm not sure why they make claims that are very easily verified and disputed, because they are not rich in protein. According to the Government of Canada Nutrition Database, one egg contains about 6.22 grams of protein. That's not a heck of a lot. Most people need somewhere between 90 and 170 grams of protein. 6 is virtually next to nothing. Almonds are claimed to increase bone density. Why do they say it's good for your bones? They say it's rich in calcium and magnesium. Well, let's look at the nutrition database again from the Government of Canada. Doesn't have a heck of a lot of protein. The calcium content is 86, and let me remind you, the recommendation is 1,000 to 1,200, which again, I dispute that recommendation in my other video, but let's go with it. Magnesium, it has 90 milligrams, so that's the only thing where they could say maybe that's good. Because 90 out of 300 to 500, that's actually a pretty decent amount. Now, again, Let's rephrase this. Calcium doesn't help strengthen bones. It gives the illusion of strong bones without actual strong bones. It increases bone density slightly, but it doesn't affect fracture risk, which is what really matters. If you want to know why, just check out that video in the description and at the end of this video. As for magnesium, magnesium only improves bone strength. Again, that's not just bone density. Bone strength is more than just bone density. But magnesium does only improves bone strength when correcting magnesium deficiency. To go from low magnesium to normal magnesium is very beneficial. Normal to excessive won't do very much. And so I'm not saying don't eat almonds. I'm just saying they only benefit you in correcting magnesium deficiencies. Another food often claimed to increase bone density and bone strength is edamame. Why do they say it's good for your bones? Again, they say it's high in calcium and magnesium. Let's look it up in the nutrition database. Is it high in calcium? Not really. 213 milligrams out of the recommended 1,000 to 1,200 is not very much. Magnesium, this is an okay amount, not super rich, but not super low. But again, it's not the best source. There are much better sources of magnesium than edamame. Mineral water, they claim increases bone density and bone strength. But they say it's good for your bones. They say it's high in calcium. Is it actually high in calcium? You get maybe about 11%, like 9 to 11% of your daily requirements. That's not a heck of a lot. In other words, the bottom line conclusion is that there is not a single vegetable that is good for strong bones. Now, I'm not saying don't eat vegetables. Vegetables are fantastic for many, many, many reasons. I sing their praises in my books on high blood pressure and diabetes. However, what they don't do is they don't strengthen bones. Here is one very large meta-analysis that shows that vegetable and fruit intake are correlated with strong bones. But does that mean that they cause strong bones? Just because they're related to it doesn't mean that they cause it. But do they cause strong bones? Well, the answer is no. The same meta-analysis found that there is no relationship between vegetable intake and bone strength or fracture risk, which is what really matters. What they did in this meta-analysis is they broke people down in terms of their vegetable consumption. The first group of people consumed no vegetables. The second group of people consumed about 2 servings a day. The third, 4 servings a day. The fourth, more than 6 servings per day. And they found no differences in fracture risk between the lowest vegetable group and the highest vegetable group. What does that tell us? It tells us that fruits and vegetables have no relationship to fractures whatsoever. Again, that doesn't mean that they're bad for you. I strongly recommend fruits and vegetables, but not because of their effects on bones, which are negligible or non-existent. So if vegetables don't actually help increase bone density or reduce fracture risk, what nutrients actually help? Well, protein and vitamin K are the only two that help. Everything else only helps when correcting a deficiency. These help, again, also when correcting a deficiency, but most people are deficient in these. So if you're wondering, how much protein do I need? In many of my videos, I discuss this. So here is a chart that breaks it down based on your activity levels, based on your age, and based on your body weight. If you want to do the math here, just pause this video and do the math here. Or if you don't want to do the math, I have a simple nutrition calculator or protein calculator on my website that you can just plug in your variables, and in 2 seconds, it will spit out the right amount of protein for you. Just visit www.fitnesssolutionsplus.ca/protein, which is also in the description below. Now, what are the best sources of protein? Well, I break them down into 3 different categories. Category 1 is what I call grade A protein. These are foods that have 30 grams of protein per serving or more. These examples of these would be things like tuna, protein powder, shrimps, beef, chicken. Again, this is not exhaustive, but these are just examples of grade A protein. Here are examples of grade B protein. Grade B protein is anything with between 10 and 30 grams of protein per serving. Chickpeas, they have between 12 and 14 grams of protein per serving. Greek yogurt, same thing, 12 to 14 grams. Lentils, 16 to 18 grams. And beets, 12 to 14 grams. And then there is grade C protein. These are things that are often claimed to be protein sources, but actually are not. They are protein sources, they're just not good protein sources. They have less than 10 grams of protein per serving. Most cheeses, except for cottage cheese, would be grade C protein. A slice of cheese has about 5 or 6 grams of protein. One egg, as you learned earlier, has only 6 grams of protein. A glass of milk only has 9 grams of protein. There's not a single vegetable that's high in protein. All vegetables have 5 grams or less. Nuts, whether it's almonds, cashews, pecans, pistachios, etc., they're all about the same at about 5 to 6 grams per serving. So there's not a single vegetable that's very rich in protein. And most of these things that people claim are high in protein, they're not high in protein. They just have protein, a little bit of it. And so if you're wondering, what about this food or what about that food? Again, this is in the nutrition database in the description below. And if you want to learn more about why calcium doesn't actually strengthen your bones, as well as myths surrounding it, where did the recommendation of 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day come from, etc., check out this video on your screen right now and in the description below.